you might want to sit down for this one. The Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for just over a month, and it pretty much has no games. Okay, well, that's not true. It has a game. It has the only game that really matters, but the only game that really matters is not the only game that the system can have, right? Am I the only one that thinks this? Because, I mean, it's great. Mario Kart World is a great game, but it's fucking Mario Kart. And yes, as I'm recording this, Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out in like 2 days, but like, come on, man. Fucking Donkey Kong. I mean, I love Donkey Kong, but an ape can only manhandle me for so long before it gets boring, right? I think Nintendo's strategy for filling out the Nintendo Switch 2's lineup is by doing shit like this. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 edition, where it's just the game, but it runs in 4K and like a better frame rate, I think. I don't know. I don't even know if Breath of the Wild runs at a better frame rate. I know it's 4K and it looks beautiful in 4K. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's not gonna carry the console. I'm sorry, Nintendo. You can't run an entire console on re-releases of Switch 1 games. I'm sorry, you just can't. I think Nintendo's having a Nintendo 64 and Wii U issue. The N64 and Wii U had notorious software droughts where they had trouble making games for them. Obviously, the N64 was the first 3D Nintendo console, so that was difficult. But then the Wii U was the first HD Nintendo console, and that's probably why the Wii U had such a slow software output. This is the first Nintendo console in 4K, and while 4K is a lot easier to program for than just flat out going from not HD to HD or going from 2D to 3D, obviously, it still could be a challenge for Nintendo. I also think that they just didn't really plan to release the Switch 2 as early as they did. I think the Switch 2 is an unfinished console. Now, I get it, the Switch 2 has only been out for a little over a month, but there are like 5 million people that have bought this console now, and they have Mario Kart, re-releases, Cyberpunk, which is a game from, 2021? And what else? It has Switch 1 games that can be played through backwards compatibility, but if you want a console that can play Switch 1 games, I may have found the perfect device for you. Now, this entire video so far has just been me ragging on Nintendo, and that's not really my intention for the entirety of this little rant that I'm doing, because, I mean, Nintendo's already being ragged on a shit ton. I don't really need to add to it. I think anything I could say about Nintendo has already been said. So I'm gonna kind of defend Nintendo in this situation, because I'm not the only one that agrees that this console has not had a sufficient game output in its first month. I mean, when this is the only first-party game that you have, I mean, it's like the best possible launch title for a Nintendo system. I'm not gonna, argue with that, because, I mean, it's Mario Kart. Everybody loves Mario Kart. I mean, it's like the perfect game. You can literally, and this is Mario Kart World. There's free roam. There's knockout tour. Like this is a very like content heavy Mario Kart, and in a lot of ways it's not, but in a lot of ways it is. I mean, this game took 10 years to come out, so for this to be the game that we get with the Switch 2, I'm not upset, and I love this game. This game is so fun. I'd say it's probably better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or at least it's going to be when it gets more content. I think it will just become the de facto Mario Kart game, just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was. But as of right now, it is a very good Mario Kart, and it looks stunning. I mean, a Nintendo game in 4K, it's stunning. It is beautiful, simply beautiful. In defense of Nintendo, I think they have a plan for this console. I think it's a plan that needs time. I think 2026 is going to be a much better year for the Switch 2, but I think they have a plan. I think they know what they're going to do with this console, and if we give them time, they're going to get it done. They're going to put out games that we actually want to play. I'm not saying I don't want to play Donkey Kong, okay? I want to play with that ape. I want to play. Hear me out. I want to play Donkey Kong really bad. Mario Kart World is amazing. This is a great game with a great concept. traveling between the two races, you know. That's a great concept. I think that's a really cool idea for a Mario Kart. But I think that it's going to take some time. And if they're going to be charging us $70 to $80 for these games, they better be packed with stuff to do. The Nintendo Switch 2 has no games. It has Mario Kart, which is great. Mario Kart's great. I love this game. But I'm sorry, an enhanced port of Breath of the Wild is not going to carry this console. Or Tears of the Kingdom. And Breath of the Wild especially. This game's been out for 8 years. And this game runs fine on the Switch 1. There's frame rate dips. But this game was made for the Switch 1. I mean, it was made for the Wii U, but it was made for the Switch 1. An enhanced port of this game is not going to satiate Nintendo fans who spent $450 to $500 on this console, as I did, which I am regretting doing so early. I got this console on launch day. I went to the midnight launch. That's how dedicated I was to getting this console. I went to GameStop and I lined up for it, which I've never done before, and I'm probably never going to do again. So yeah, to recap, this console has no games yet, besides Mario Kart and ports of Switch 1 games that have been out for a long time. And I personally think that Nintendo is going to pull through and give us some genuinely incredible experiences on this console. I'm very excited for the future of this console. I need to be because I spent $500 on it. But if I wasn't excited, that's probably not a good thing since this thing was very expensive and I have rent to pay. But that's okay. It was worth the money, in my opinion. It's a what's the term for it? I guess I'll just say the return on investment in the future will be big because this console is going to last, hopefully, like 8 years. I mean, the Switch 1 lasted 8 years. This console is going to last us a really long time. We're going to get a lot of games for it. I mean, it's sold incredibly well. It sold 3.5 million in the first week. That's unheard of for a console. Like, that's never happened before. So, it'll get games. We just got to be patient. A part of me regrets buying the Switch 2. But the bigger part of me does not regret buying the Switch 2. And anybody that did buy the Switch 2, you're not going to regret it. I get that it feels like you're going to. You're not. This console is going to give us like 8 years of genuinely good Nintendo experiences, I hope. Unless they just decide to put out shovelware on the eShop for the next 8 years like they did with the Switch 1. I hope that doesn't happen because the eShop was a mess on the Switch 1. But yeah, I do not regret buying the Switch 2, even if it has no games. You shouldn't either. That is, unless you don't want to spend $80 for the right to be an ape.